Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone, beneath the halo of a street lamp. I turned my collar to the cold and down, when my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light. Split the night and touched the sound of silence, and in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs that voices never shared. No one dared disturb the sound of silence. Fools that I do not know, silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I might reach you, take my arms that I might reach you, but my words like silent raindrops fell, echo in the wells of silence, and the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made, and the sign flashed out its warning in the word that it was for me, and the sign said the words of the prophets are written on a subway wall, tenement hall, whispered sound of silence.
I started a joke which started the whole world crying, but I didn't say, oh no, that the joke was on me. Oh no, I started to cry, which started the whole world laughing. Oh, if I only sing, oh no, that the joke was on me. I looked at the sky, running my hands over my eyes, and I fell out of bed, hurting my head from things that I had said, till I finally learned, which started the whole world living. Oh, if I only sing, oh no, that the joke was on me. I looked at the sky, running my hands over my eyes, and I fell out was on me. Oh, no, not the young was on me.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Life was older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like a breeze. Country road, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, all my memories together around her. Miner's lady, stranger to blue water, dark and dusty, painted on the sky. Misty taste of moonshine, teardrops in my eyes. Country road, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country road, I hear her voice in the morning hour. She calls me. Radio reminds me of my home far away. Driving down the road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday, Lord, yesterday. Country road, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, I want to hear you now. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, oh Mama, take me home. Country roads, take me home. Down country road, take me home. Down country road.
There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone and some remain. All these places have their moments with lovers and friends. I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life, I love them all. But of all these friends and lovers, there is no one compares with you. And these memories lose their meaning when I think of love as something new. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about
It's 5 o'clock this morning and the sun is on the rise. There's frosting on the window pane and sorrow in your eyes. The stars are fading quietly, the night is nearly gone. And so you turn away from me and tears begin to come, and it's goodbye again. I'm sorry to be leaving you, goodbye again. As if you didn't know, it's goodbye again. And I wish you could tell me, why do we always fight when I have to go? It seems a shame to leave you now when days are soft and warm. I long to lay me down again and hold you in my arms. I long to kiss the tears away and give you back your smile. But other voices beckon me, for a little while it's goodbye again. I'm sorry to be leaving you, goodbye again. As if you didn't know, it's goodbye again. And I wish you could tell me, why do we always fight when I have to go? I have to go and see some friends of mine, some that I don't know, some that aren't familiar with my name. It's something that's inside of me, not hard to understand. It's anyone who listens to me sing. So if your eyes are empty now, then who am I to blame? You think if I was always here, our love would be the same. But as it is, the time we have is worth the time alone. Lying by your side, the greatest peace I've ever known, and it's goodbye again. I'm sorry to be leaving you, goodbye again. As if you didn't know, it's goodbye again. And I wish you could tell me, why do we always fight when I have to go?
Only child alone and wild, a cabinet maker's son. His hands were meant for different work, and his heart was known to none. He left his home and went his lone and solitary way, and he gave to me a gift I know I never can repay. Quiet man of music, denied a simpler fate. He tried to be a soldier once, but his music wouldn't wait. He earned his love through discipline, a thundering velvet hand. His gentle means of sculpting souls took me years to understand. Little of the band is tired, and his eyes are growing old, but his blood runs through my instrument, and his song is in my soul. My love has been a poor attempt to imitate the man. I'm just a living legacy to the leader of the band. My brothers' lives were different when they heard another call. One went to Chicago and the other to St. Paul. And I'm in Colorado, but I'm not in some hotel, living out this life I've chose, I've come to know so well. Thank you for the music and the story of the road. I thank you for the freedom we need, came our time to go. I thank you for the kindness and the time that you got tough. And Papa, I don't think I said I love you near enough. The leader of the band is tired and his eyes are growing old, but his blood runs through my instrument and the song is in my soul. My love has been a poor attempt to imitate the man. I'm just a living legacy to the leader of the band. I am a living legacy to the leader of the band.
Told me long ago there's a calm before the storm. I know it's been coming down for some time. When it's over, so they say, it will rain a sunny day. I know it's shining down like water.
Coming down
leaves are brown, and the sky is gray. I've been for a walk on a winter's day. I'd be safe and warm if I was in LA. California dreaming on such a winter's day. I stopped into a church I passed along the way. Well, I got down on my knees, and I pretended to pray. You know, preacher likes to go. He knows I'm gonna stay. California dreaming on such a winter's day. All the leaves are brown, and the sky is gray. I've been for a walk on a winter's day. If I didn't tell her I could leave today. California dreaming on such a winter's day. On such a winter's day. On such a winter's day. When you're down in trouble and you need a helping hand, and nothing, oh nothing is going right. Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running. See you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you got to do is call, and I'll be there, yeah. You've got a friend. If the sky above you should turn dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind should begin to blow, keep your head together and call my name out loud now. Soon I'll be knocking upon your door. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running. Oh yes, I will see you again. spring, summer, or fall. All you got to do is call, and I'll be there, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ain't good to know that you've got a friend. People can be so cold. They'll hurt you and desert you. They take your soul if you let them. Oh, but don't you let them. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running. Oh yes, I will see you again. Oh baby, don't you know about winter, spring, summer, or fall? All you got to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. You've got a friend. You've got a friend.
I am just a poor boy, though my story's seldom told. I have squandered my resistance for a pocket full of mumbles, such are promises. All lies in jest, still a man hears what he wants to hear and disregards the rest. When I left my home and family, I was no more than a boy, in the company of strangers, in the quiet of the railway station, running scared, laying low, seeking out the poorer quarters where the ragged people go, looking for the places only they would know. La la la, la la la, la 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 la, la la la. La 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 la. Asking only workmen's wages, I come looking for a job, but I get no offer. Just to come on from the halls on 7th Avenue. I do declare there were times when I was so lonesome, I took some comfort there. La la la, la la la, la 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 la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la 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 la, 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 la la la. And I'm laying out my winter clothes and wishing I was gone, going home, where the New York City winters aren't bleeding me, leading me, going home. In the clearing stands a boxer and a fighter by his trade, and he carries the reminder of every glove that cut him till he cried out in his anger and his shame, I am leaving, but the fighter still remains. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la la.
something good has begun. Oh, I've been smiling lately, dreaming about the world as one, and I believe it could be someday it's gonna come. 'Cause out on the edge of darkness there rides a peace train. Oh, peace train, take this country, come take me home again. Yes, I've been smiling lately, thinking about the good things to come, and I believe it could be something good has begun. Oh, peace train sounding louder, glide on the peace train. Ooh, come on, peace train. Oh, peace train, holy roller, everyone jump up on the peace train. Ooh, come on, peace train. Now get your bags together, go bring your good friends too, 'cause it's getting nearer, and soon we'll be with you. Let's come and join the living, it's not so far from you, and it's getting nearer, soon it will all be true. Oh, peace train sounding loud, glide on the peace train. Ooh, yeah, ooh, come on, peace train. This peace train, holy roller, everyone jump upon the peace train. Ooh, yeah, ooh, come on, peace train. Been crying lately, thinking about the world as it is. Why must we go on hating? Why can't we live in bliss? 'Cause out on the edge of darkness there rides a peace train. Oh, peace train, take this country, come take me home again. Peace train sounding loud, glide on the peace train. Train, this peace train, holy roller, everyone jump upon the peace train. Ooh, ooh, come on, come on, come on, let's come on, peace train, it is the peace train. Oh, ooh,
You sheltered me from harm, kept me warm, kept me warm. You gave my life to me, set me free, set me free. The finest years I ever knew were all the years I had with you. I would give everything I own, give up my life, my heart, my heart. Yes, I would give everything I own just to have you back again. You taught me how to love, what it's all, what it's all. You never said too much, but still you showed the way, and I knew, watching you, nobody else could ever know the part of me that can't let go. And I would give everything I own, Is there someone you know, you're loving them so, but taking them all for granted? You may lose them one day, someone takes them away, and they don't hear the words you long to say. But I would give everything I own, give up my life, my heart, my home, 'cause I would give everything I own just to have you back again, just to touch you once again.
Turn me loose from your hands, let me fly to distant lands, over green fields, trees and mountains, flowers and forest fountains, home along the lanes of the skyways, for this dark, lonely room, project shadows casting gloom, and my eyes are mirrors of the world outside. Think about the way that the wind can turn the tide. These shadows turn from purple into gray, for just this skyline pigeon dreaming of the open, waiting for the day he can spread his wings, fly away again, fly away. Skyline pigeon, fly towards the dream you left so very far behind. Fly away, skyline pigeon, fly towards a dream you left so very far behind. Let me wake up in the morning to the smell of new mown hay, to laugh and cry, never die in the brightness of the day. I wanna hear the pealing bells of distant churches sing. Most of all, please free me from this aching metal ring. Open out the cage towards the sun, for just a skyline pigeon dreaming of the open, waiting for the day he can spread his wings and fly away again. Fly away, skyline pigeon, fly towards a dream left so very far behind. Fly away, skyline pigeon, fly towards a dream left so very far behind.
A long, long time ago, I can still remember how that music used to make me smile. And I knew if I had my chance that I could make those people dance, and maybe they'd be happy for a while. But February made me shiver with every paper I deliver. Bad news on the doorstep, I couldn't take one more step, and I can't remember if I cried when I read about his widowed bride. Something touched me deep inside the day the music died. So bye-bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Did you write the book of love, and do you have faith in God above? If the Bible tells you so. Now do you believe in rock and roll? Can music save your mortal soul? And can you teach me how to dance real slow? Well, I know that you're in love with him, 'cause I saw you dancing in the gym. You both kicked off your shoes. Man, I dig those rhythm and blues. I was a lonely teenage bronkin' buck with a pink carnation and a pickup truck, but I knew I was out of luck the day the music died. I started singing bye-bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Now for 10 years we've been on our own, and moss grows fat on a rolling stone, but that's not how it used to be. When the jester sang for the king and queen in a coat he borrowed from James Dean, and a voice that came from you and me. Oh, and while the king was looking down, the jester stole his thorny crown. The courtroom was adjourned, no verdict was returned, and while Lennon read a book on Marx, the quartet practiced in the park, and we sang dirges in the dark the day the music died. And we were singing bye-bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Helter-skelter in a summer swelter, the birds flew off with a fallout shelter, 8 miles high and falling fast. They land and fouled all the grass. The players tried for a forward pass, with the jester on the sidelines in a cast. Now the halftime air was sweet perfume, while the sergeants played a marching tune. We all got up to dance, oh, but we never got the chance, 'cause the players tried to take the field. The marching band refused to yield. Do you recall what was revealed the day the music died? And we were singing bye-bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Oh, and there we were all in one place, a generation lost in space, with no time left to start again. Now come on, Jack, be nimble, Jack, be quick. But Jack Flash sat on a candlestick, 'cause fire is the devil's only friend. Oh, and watched him on the stage. My hands were clenched in fists of rage. No angel born in hell could break that saint's spell. And as the flames climbed high into the night to light the sacrificial rite, I saw Satan laughing with delight the day the music died. And he was singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, singing this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. I met a girl who sang the blues, and I asked her for some happy news, but she just smiled and turned away. And I went down to the sacred store where I'd heard the music years before, but the man there said the music wouldn't play. And in the streets the children screamed, the lovers cried and poets dreamed. Not a word was spoken, the church bells all were broken. And the three men I admire most, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, they caught the last train for the coast the day the music died. And they were singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. They were singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing this'll be the day that I die.
Into a broken world on a silent night, unassuming child bringing heaven's light. Oh Lord, how frail and fragile our hope.
I guess that it was bound to happen, was just a matter of time. But now I've come to my decision, and it's a one of a painful kind. 'Cause now it seems that you wanted a martyr, just a regular guy wouldn't do. But baby, I can't hang upon no lover's cross for you. Yeah, I really gotta hand it to you, 'cause girl, you really tried. But for every time that we spent laughing, there were 2 times that I cried. And you were trying to make me your martyr, and that's the one thing I just couldn't do. 'Cause baby, I can't hang upon no lover's cross for you. 'Cause tables are meant for turning, and people are bound to change. And bridges are meant for burning, when the people and memories they join aren't the same. Still I hope that you can find another take what I could not. He'll have to be a super guy, or maybe a super god. 'Cause I never was much of a martyr before, and I ain't about to start nothing new. And baby, I can't hang upon no lover's cross for you. 'Cause tables are meant for turning, and people are bound to change. And bridges are meant for burning, when the people and memories they join aren't the same. Still I hope that you can find another who can take what I could not. He'll have to be a super guy, or maybe a super god. 'Cause I never was much of a martyr before, and I ain't about to start nothing new. And baby, I can't hang upon no lover's cross for you. So good to me. Monday morning, it was all I hoped it would be. Oh, Monday morning, couldn't guarantee that Monday evening you would still be here with me. Can't trust that day. Monday morning, sometimes it just turns out that way. Oh, Monday morning, you gave me no warning of what was to be. Oh, Monday, how could you leave and not take me? Every other day, every other day of the week is fine, yeah. But whenever Monday comes, you can find me crying all of the time. Monday, so good to me. Monday morning, it was all I hoped it would be. Oh, Monday morning, couldn't guarantee that Monday evening you would still be here with me. Every other day, every other day of the week is fine, yeah. But whenever Monday comes, you can find me crying all the time. Monday, can't trust that day. Monday, it just turns out that way. Oh, Monday, won't go away. Oh, Monday, it's here to stay. If I listen long enough to you, I'd find a way to believe that it's all true. Knowing that you lied straight-faced while I cried, but still I'd look to find a reason to believe. Someone like you makes it hard to live without somebody else. Someone like you makes it easy to give and never think about myself. And if I gave you time to change my mind, and I'd find a way just to leave the past behind, knowing that you lied straight-faced while I cried, but still I'd look to find a reason to believe. Someone like you makes it hard to live without somebody else. Someone like you makes it easy to give and never think about myself. And if I listen long enough to you, I'd find a way to believe that it's all true. Knowing that you lied straight-faced while I cried, but still I'd look to find a reason to believe. And still I'd look to find a reason to believe.
I'm being followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow, leaping and hopping on a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. And if I ever lose my hands, lose my plow, lose my land, if I ever lose my hands away, I won't have to work no more. But if I ever lose my eyes, if my colors all run dry, if I ever lose my eyes away, I won't have to cry no more. 'Cause I'm being followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow, leaping and hopping on a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. And if I ever lose my legs, I won't moan and I won't beg. 'Cause if I ever lose my legs away, I won't have to walk no more. And if I ever lose my mouth, all my teeth, north and south, as if I ever lose my mouth away, I won't have to talk. Did it take long to find me? I asked you faithful lie. Did it take long to find me? Now you're gonna stay the night. I'm being followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow, leaping and hopping on a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. Shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow.
you think about the girl you love and hold her tight, so happy together. If I should call you up, invest a dime, and you say you belong to me, and there's my mind. Imagine how the world would be so very fine, so happy together. I can see me loving nobody but you for all my life, and you're with me when the skies will be blue for all my life. Me and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it had to be the only one for me too, and you for me, so happy together. I can see me loving nobody but you for all my life, and you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life. Me and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it had to be the only one for me too, and you for me, so happy together. Toss the dice, it had to be the only one for me too, and you for me, so happy together, so happy together. How is the weather? So happy together, so happy together, we're happy together.
Now that I've lost everything to you, you say you wanna start something new, and it's breaking my heart you're leaving. Baby, I'm grieving.
But if you wanna leave, take good care. Hope you had a lot of nice things to wear, but then a lot of nice things turn bad out there. Yeah.
Oh, baby, it's a wild world. It's hard to get by just upon a smile. Oh, baby, it's a wild world.
I'll always remember you like a child, girl. You know I've seen a lot of what the world can do, and it's breaking my heart in two, because I never want to see you feel sad, girl. Don't be a bad girl, but if you want to leave, take good care.
Hope you have a lot of nice friends out there.
Just remember there's a lot of bad and beware.
Yeah. Oh, baby, it's a wild world. It's hard to get by just upon a smile. Oh, baby, it's a wild world.
I'll always remember you like a child.
Baby, I love you, but if you wanna leave, take good care. Hope you have a lot of nice friends out there.
But just remember there's a lot of bad everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. It's hard to get by just upon a smile. Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world.
And I'll always remember you like a child.
Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. It's hard to get by just upon a smile. Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world.
And I'll always remember you like a child, girl.
Two young people without a thing, say some vows, spread their wings, settle down to just what they need, living on love. She don't care about what's in style, she just likes the way they smile. It takes more than marble and tile, living on love. You're living on love, buying on time, without somebody loving ain't worth a dime. It's like an old-fashioned story. living on love. It sounds simple, it's what you're thinking. But love can walk through fire without blinking. It doesn't take much when you get enough living on love. Oh, come on, Phil, man. Two old people out of fame, children gone, still they sing side by side in that front porch swing, living on love. He can't sleep anymore, she can barely sweep the floor. Hand in hand they'll walk through that door, just living on love. Living on love, buying on time, without somebody nothing worth a dime. It's like that old-fashioned storybook rhyme, living on love. It sounds simple, it's what you're thinking. But love can walk through fire without blinking. It doesn't take much when you get enough living on love. Oh, it doesn't take much when you get enough just living on love.
Well, it ain't no use to sit and wonder why, babe, even if you don't know by now. And it ain't no use to sit and wonder why, babe, it'll never do somehow. When the rooster crows at the break of dawn, look at your window and I'll be gone. You're the reason I'm traveling on. Well, don't think twice, it's alright. And it ain't no use in turning on your light, babe, like you ain't never done before. And it ain't no use in turning on your light, babe, I'm on the dark side of the road. Well, I wish there was something you would do or say to try and make me change my mind and stay. But we never did too much talking anyway, so don't think twice, it's alright. And there ain't no use in calling out my name, girl, like you ain't never done before. And there ain't no use in calling out my name, girl, I can't hear you anymore. Well, I'm thinking and wondering and walking down the road. I once loved a woman, a child, I'm told. I gave her my heart, but you wanted my soul. Don't think twice, it's alright. So long, honey babe, where I'm bound, I can't tell. Goodbye is too good a word, babe, so I'll just say fare thee well. And I ain't saying you treated me unkind, you could have done better, but I don't mind. You just kinda wasted my precious time, but don't think twice, it's alright.
something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. Come on, Evan. There's a man with a gun nowhere, telling me I got to beware. I think it's time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. There's a battle lines being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speak in their mind, getting so much resistance from behind. We got to stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look, it's going down. What a field day for the heat down there. 1,000 people in the street, singing songs and they carry inside. Mostly say hooray for our side. Now we got to stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look, it's going down. Paranoia strikes into your life, it will be. It starts when you're always afraid. Step out behind the bank home and take you away. We got to stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look at what's going down. Stop, children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop, hey, oh, we got to stop. Look around.
Audio Jungle.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.